Noah Clowney, no relation to Jadeveon Clowney, is there?
To be honest, we're from the same area and we got the same last name. So, yeah, very possibly. But, like, I ain't never seen him at a cookout or no barbecue.
Are you a good pass rusher?
Who, me? I mean, I played DN. You know.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, this was in middle school.
Okay.
I quit in high school. I wasn't very good.
You don't get hit as much in basketball.
Yeah, it's a different type of hit.
High school in South Carolina.
Yes.
You have a lot in common with Nick Claxton, right? Mm-hmm. So high school, South Carolina. The comps all kind of, when you look up during this draft prep, they go, what's the comp? Well, Nick Claxton. What was your relationship? Did you know Nick?
So everybody, if you knew basketball back home, you knew of him because he's, you know, the player out of, I want to say Greenville that's getting drafted. And that's like 30 minutes from Spartanburg, 20 minutes. So it's like, if you knew basketball, you knew about him. I knew about him at least. But personal relations, I don't think we've ever spoke.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
I'm sure that will happen.
Soon. Probably.
But then people also describe you as Nick Claxton, but maybe with more of a jump shot. You talked about in your opening presser about what it is that people don't know about your game that you're going to be able to show in the NBA. Are you a jump shooter?
So obviously in college, I shot a lot of shots. But if you look at the percentage, you'll think like, I don't know why he was shooting all those shots. So I shot, I think 29% for 3 on the year. And I had 2 slumps, 0 for 19, 0 for 21.
That'll bring down your percentage.
Yeah, but so I end up in this offseason, my last 2 months, I've been perfecting my shot. That was like the main thing. If I can make shots, make open shots, even semi-contested shots, you know, now I open up the rest of my game. Mm-hmm. I can do a lot more because now you got to really close out. You're not closing out short no more. You closing out fully. Now I get to drive downhill, make decisions and things like that. So it's a lot more that can be shown when I'm more of a consistent shooter. So that's what I meant by that.
But you also want to know what your bread and butter is, and that's been defense. Right?
Of course.
That's what you take pride in?
Yes.
Switching 1 through 5. Mm-hmm. Drop, is it anything to your preference?
Whatever you ask me to do defensively, it's going to get done. That's pretty much it. Now, 5 men in the league are a lot bigger, stronger, so I got some time to put on some more weight. I done put on probably 12 pounds since the season ended. So I got some more time to put on weight, but there's some big old 5 men in the league. So some of them I don't know about.
There are, but like you said, if you can start knocking, if they got to come out and guard you 22 feet away from the basket, you got an advantage.
Yeah. Offensively, it'd be hell for them for sure.
What was your, you mentioned you played a little football in grammar school maybe, but you end up going on and becoming a high school basketball player, but not highly recruited, not one of the top 75 guys. And in 1 year, you're a first-round draft pick in the NBA. What do you attribute that to?
So for one, we don't like numbers. Those rankings, those numbers, they mean nothing. I want everybody to know that.
Number in terms of where you were drafted? Or you mean the high school?
High school ranking, number where you're drafted, all that, none of that matters. Because I mean, same time, if you're given an opportunity, you either take advantage or you don't. It's only 2 outcomes, quite frankly. And so for me, it was like, I always had like a chip. So coming out of high school, I did AAU. And, you know, I had one good AAU season, I started getting recruited. Then high school, we won state titles, but it's like, it's a public school. Everybody's looking at all the, you know, the IMG, the Montverde, all these new private schools everybody's going to. Yeah. But I wasn't going to leave home for high school knowing I'm finna leave home for college too. Like, I'm spend as much time as I could. And so, I mean, I left. I mean, I did AAU. I got recruited by a couple people. Oates took a chance on me. He got me. And, I mean, I just keep my head down and work. I don't really say too much.
Yeah, it's not like you went to some mid-major. I mean, you went to Alabama. You played in the SEC. You averaged 10 and 8. You're blocking shots, and you're getting the NCAA tournament, and now you're here. Yeah. Now you're in the NBA. Now the comps with Nick Claxton, I've talked to him in the past. He was like 6'4", like going into high school, and then all of a sudden he had this huge growth spurt in the middle of high school to a point where it had like pains, you know, growing pains, and actually took a year to just condition and kind of get used to his body before he went back to playing. Were you always tall? Did you have a growth spurt at some point?
I was always tall. I was always above average height. That's kind of why I stopped baseball too. I was getting too tall for it. Strike zone's huge now. But Yeah, like I always been tall, so I've had like growing pains here and there, but it's like, no, you get over it.
You're a good baseball player?
I was great.
Yeah.
Shortstop, third base, and I pitched a little bit.
Wow. Shorts, it's not good to be like a 7-foot shortstop.
Yeah, it's not.
It's hard to get to that. I came into the room before and I saw a bunch of Rubiks Cubes. Are you a Rubiks Cube guy? Did they bring that out for you?
So in high school, so I graduated pretty much 11th grade year, right?
Okay.
But I still went to school 12th grade year because I wanted to play basketball my last year.
Wait, so you graduated high school in 3 years?
Kinda. Like I had no classes to take 12th grade year. Like those weren't classes towards like my credits for sure, really. I go to school, I had like my first class was my first semester, my class was my head coach. My second semester class was my assistant coach.
Oh, wow.
So like I didn't, and then I had fourth block, which was like basketball class.
Okay.
So I do that. And so throughout the whole day, instead of leaving and coming back from school, wasting gas, because, you know, gas is expensive, I would just like go to, I had 2 classrooms I would go to, either Coach Johnson room with Shannon, or I would go to Mr. Means room. And so I'd be in there, and Mr. Means had a Rubiks Cube he's playing with, and I was like, you know, I can learn how to do this. It ain't that hard. So somebody taught me how to do it, and like for like a week, I'd go in there straight just learning how to do the Rubiks Cube. Then I got it. I started just trying to do it faster and faster. Then I taught my little brother. So we both know how to do it now. But the rest of the family, you don't want to learn. They're not.
I saw a guy the other day set the record in like 3.14 seconds.
I don't know.
It's crazy,
it's
right?
like they observe it and they just know what they're finna do before they do it.
So then, like I think people look a lot at athletes that leave college after a year. And, you know, you're 18 years old. You're not going to be 19 until July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people think, well, those guys probably didn't like school. But you were, I heard you're on the dean's list at Alabama. Like liking school or at least being good in school had nothing to do with your decision to come out of college.
No, my decision was based upon the best opportunity for me. We had a good season. I knew we would never have a team like that again. With everybody leaving, with coaches leaving, it would be very hard to replicate something like that. And then it was based purely basketball. As far as academics go, I'm still gonna go back and graduate because I want to do like mental health counseling. So I got probably about another 5 years of school.
That's you want to do mental health counseling is something in your life that has inspired you for that?
So I had my own mental issues like 8th through 10th grade. So people always tell me like, you're so mature, you act like you old. Like it's because when I had my own issues, and then my mom, she told me one day, she was like, you can't stress over what you can't control. And then that like sparked my research. I started researching more how the mind works, things like that. And then I just kind of went from there and ended up going to school for psychology, learned a little more in my 1 year there. And then, yeah, I want to help other athletes because people don't understand from non-athlete perspectives how stressful these situations really can be. When you're going into arena, you just thinking you just want to play basketball and you're being slandered and people really hate you just because you're good at basketball or even if you're bad at basketball. Like, yeah, it's a lot. Then you got to balance that with schoolwork, trying to pass classes. It's a lot.
There are rooms in every NBA arena that they reserve as a quiet room. I don't know if you realize that. It's almost like a mental health room, I think they call it, at the arena. So if you do want to get that quiet space before a game to calm yourself, you can go there.
That is great. I'll be using it.
I think that's something that's taken a lot of advances over the years. Were you anxious? Was that the issue when you were
8th through 10th grade? So it was a lot of different things. It was a combination of like things weren't really going how I needed things to go at that point in my life, and I didn't know how to handle it being young. That, and then sometimes I was angry. Like it was little stupid stuff, to be honest. Like I see other people have more money, have a lot more things that I had, and it would like make me like, man, I wish I could have that. And the things like a bunch of stuff built up, and then I didn't like to talk about my feelings. I didn't like to talk about any emotions. I didn't talk to anybody. I just held everything in. Then one day I had like an outbreak. And then that's when my mom told me, you can't stress over what you can't control. And so since then, you know, I don't stress over what I can't control. I meditate. I do a lot of different stuff.
I was going to say, what are the tools that you use to get by that?
So it's going to sound corny, but the breathing treatment they really be telling you to do really will like relax you. And then I meditate. I stargaze. I do stuff like that for my form of meditation.
It's just about sort of attaching your mind, detaching from the world and sort of coming internal. And yeah, I think that's great that you were able to to figure that out. Your mom helped you with that. She's an important person in your life, I would imagine.
Very.
When I'll get into this, Jim Valvano had this speech in the ESPYs at that time, never give up. You probably heard it or seen it. And he always said, you got to do 3 things in life to have a full day every day. Laugh, cry, think. So I kind of get into people and how they are when I say, hey, what makes you laugh? You seem like you're kind of soft-spoken guy, but you seem like you're a fun guy too.
I am. And I think that's a misconception everybody has because I don't talk much. I wouldn't say I'm antisocial. I'm getting better. I was for sure, but I'm getting better. I'm more social now. But yeah, I'm fun. It's just like
what makes you laugh? There's something.
Everything,
what's you like a movie that made you laugh?
A movie? I laugh at just about any movie. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like people who are tensed up and don't laugh ever, like you need to relax. Like you don't know how long you got to live. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that. I love that attitude. You're a chill guy.
Yeah, very.
How do you? There's always the line though of being chill, but then still being able to be fierce on the basketball court. You ever have you have to push yourself to be one way or the other?
Nah, so I'm a competitor. So that's where I was saying the misconception. Everybody in college, they thought I was never happy because only time they see cameras on me is when I'm on the court and I'm never smiling on the court. And so they like, if you go on Twitter, like when I was at the draft lottery, they see me front row smiling. They'll post it and be like a rare smile from Noah Clowney. Like I never cheese or nothing, but like I really be happy. I be smiling. It's just like on the court, man, my one goal is to win. If we up 30, I'll smile on the bench, but like we got to win first.
You seem like though you're very, in talking about the other stuff, that you're very in touch with your emotions.
Somewhat.
So I would say like what makes you cry and moves your emotions, not necessarily in a sad way, but what really moves your emotions.
Cry. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't cried a lot. I cried yesterday, but
when you heard your name called?
Nah, I held it in. Then I cried in the hotel. But other than that, I haven't cried in a long time. I try to look at the positives of any situation. There's no situation where I feel like it's just no positive outcome. If it's a terrible situation, it's just all bad and you learn something from it. But you might not want to accept that at first, but eventually you got to accept that you learn something from it.
So the Oculus is this digital screen outside the arena where so many people see it. So if you put something up there, everybody is going to be hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people perhaps could see it. If there's a message you can put up there for people to think about, what message would you want to get to as many people as you could?
Take care of your mind. I don't think people understand how important their mind is. Like on the court, like, yeah, that's hard. You got to work. It's not easy at all. So I don't want people to think it's easy. But I feel like your mind is like a minimum 50% of the game, 60 really.
And what would your message be to Net fans about Noah Clowney?
About me? I think he probably learned enough about me, and if you listen to all of this. But, see y'all soon. Should
see
be
y'all
fun.
soon.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Indeed.
Noah, thanks so much, man. This is really great.
Thank you. Appreciate you.